Hey everyone, this is Christina Bates coming to you live today here in Madrid. I am sitting at one of my favorite coffee shops. It's actually really close to TT Madrid's offices. I can flip the camera just so you can take a look. It's beautiful outside right now, and luckily I have this awesome cafe right now to myself. And today I am streaming on the topic of what to pack and what not to pack when you're going to live in Madrid. So feel free to tune in today and ask any questions you may have throughout this video. If you're currently living here in Madrid or used to live here in Madrid, please feel free to share your thoughts. I'd love to hear if you agree with some of these or not, or if you have any opinions as well. I'd love to hear it. But let's go ahead and get started. I made a list here on some things that I wish I had packed. Let's start from one. It's definitely more comfortable shoes. So you will, without a doubt, do as much walking as possible here. It's the most walking I've ever done in my entire life, I'll be honest. I know on average you try to get like 10,000 steps a day or something like that. You will by far reach that goal and then some. So you definitely want to bring some comfortable shoes. I brought a few, but I wish I had brought a couple more. I would pack no more than probably 4 to 5 pairs of shoes. Bring 1 pair of sneakers. I would recommend 1 pair of flats, like some comfortable flats. If you want to bring dress shoes, maybe bring a pair of wedges, ladies. Do not, whatever you do not bring stilettos or heels. Trust me, you're not going to wear them. If you do one night out clubbing, you can buy some shoes here really cheap. What else? I'd bring maybe some flip-flops. While the Spaniards actually don't wear flip-flops outside, it's just a faux pas, I guess, a fashion faux pas. I wear them all the time in the house. They're great for whether you're out traveling, hostels, flip-flops are easy. Just bring a pair. What else? Sandals. So the Spaniards do wear sandals. So as long as they have a little tie in the back, they're super comfortable. I would highly recommend bringing some sandals. And last but not least, one thing I'm glad I brought were some winter boots. Believe it or not, Spain actually does get cold here. On the contrary, especially if you're moving during the summer, you think, oh, no problem, I'll just buy the stuff there when I get there. It's not exactly the case. So it's a salt, I think it is, or something like that. Somebody correct me. But a grain of salt, that's it. Because I'm from Las Vegas, and basically I get cold wherever I'm at. But I'm so glad I brought my winter boots because they're super, super comfortable, and I wear them pretty much every day during the winter. So that would be it for the shoes. Definitely looking for comfort here. Don't worry about fashion, ladies, I promise. They sell tons of shoes here. You can buy some when you get here. But what I would recommend in that area is I had underpacked, thinking I'll just buy a bunch of stuff once I arrive. And it actually cost a good amount to get set up here, the transition period. So if you have some favorite items, bring them, because I wish I had and I didn't bring enough. Let's move on. Next thing that I wish I had packed was some homey stuff. So there will come a time when you arrive here and you're sitting in your bare room in your new flat, and you get that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I am living in Spain. I'm living in Madrid. And you realize that, call it homesickness, call it, I don't know, freedom, call it whatever you want. Like I mentioned, it does get cold. That was one thing I wish I had brought, a little bit more, maybe some long sleeves, maybe an extra sweater. It gets cold in the winter, and I was arriving during the summer, so I thought, no problem, I'll be fine until I get to winter, and I was freezing. So bring a couple extra sweaters if you can. A good backpack. I highly recommend bringing a good backpack. I came out here with my classic Herschel backpack, and while it worked great in the States because I was traveling via car and then barely carrying it in between work and classes, it did not work well while I was here. After the first month of wearing it, I was starting to get a lot of back pain. You are walking a lot, guys, so it's natural. Plus, you're carrying your laptop, maybe a lunch, some supplies, and your teaching material. So you're walking a lot. You're carrying this heavy backpack. You definitely want to invest in a good backpack. So I went and purchased. It's actually right here. This North Face backpack. I love it. However, I wish I would have bought it in the States because I'm pretty sure it could have gotten it way cheaper there. What else to tell you guys? So for the ladies, one thing I wish I would have packed, but I didn't, because I had read everywhere that to not bring your hair tools. So curling iron, straightener, blow dryer, they say leave it at home because it could fry your hair, or you could just blow out here and just not work. However, I ended up taking that advice, and I didn't bring anything. I left all my expensive stuff back home, and I was super, super bummed. And then I came out here and realized that a lot of the hair products were super expensive. So I ended up investing in a cheap curling iron, a cheap blow dryer just to get me by, and after a month or two, it completely damaged my hair. So for the ladies, I would recommend, I actually went back home a couple weeks ago, and I brought everything back with a nice converter, and it works just fine. Fingers crossed, it hasn't broken on me, and my hair can thank me because it's much healthier now and not completely fried. So that's one recommendation. Speaking of products, so a lot of people say don't pack any of your favorite products. They have it in Spain. While this is completely true, do some research as far as what products they do and don't carry. For example, this is one of my favorite makeup products, Laura Mercier, and they do not carry this in the Sephora here, or I believe they didn't have it on the Amazon for España. So I would highly recommend just looking for a few products that you know they will not carry and bring those. It's worth it. Deodorant is definitely one of those. By far, you will want to bring a couple extra sticks of deodorant. The deodorant here isn't that great, but they do have plenty of makeup, guys. So just research and see what they do and don't carry. Some things that I'm glad I packed. So I'm really glad I packed my e-reader. So I have a Kindle, and I bring it everywhere with me. It's super great for the metro or long rides on a bus. If you have a tablet, bring it. You can upload some movies. I went to Granada last weekend, and I took a 5-hour bus ride. What? Crazy. Anyways. But it's perfect for those moments because you can pull it out, read a book, you can catch a favorite movie or show, and it's fantastic. So highly recommend bringing it. It's worth it. I would also recommend bringing one interview outfit. I wouldn't recommend bringing a ton of professional outfits because you don't know exactly where you're going to be placed yet, whether it's in a school or academy. I teach at a business, so totally up to you what you can wear, but you definitely will need an interview outfit because to get a job, you definitely have to interview. So I would recommend for the ladies just bringing a nice knee pencil skirt or some slacks and a nice button-up top. That should do just fine. And for the men, you should have an idea of what a nice professional outfit is. If you have to bring a tie, sure. But I wouldn't bring any more than that because, to be honest, you can buy a lot of the clothing here. If it turns out you have to wear more professional clothing, with a lot of teaching jobs you don't as much, depends. But if you do, there's tons of Zara's here, Sephora's, Mango's, which are great and easy to shop for. So don't worry about that too much. Another thing I'm glad I brought was a crossbody purse with a zipper. So for you ladies, it's great just for traveling, for every day. Obviously Monday through Friday, as I'm working, I carry my backpack, but on the weekends or whenever I'm traveling, I wear my purse all the time, my crossbody. What I love about it is that it's on me at all times, so I don't take it off, I don't forget about it, and it's in front of me, so if, God forbid, it just makes it that much harder to actually get into. It's locked, it's zipped, nothing can slip out. It makes it super, super easy. Don't bring a lot of purses, you don't need to, really. You only need one, really. That's my opinion, but totally up to you. I'm also glad I brought this smartphone that I'm talking to you guys on right now. I actually have an iPhone. I unlocked it prior to coming to Spain, to Madrid. Up to you, you can unlock it before or after. I did it for free before, and it was one less thing I had to do while I got here. And if you want, you can set up a phone super easy. I went through, there's multiple carriers here. I went through 20. They actually sent me the chip. So although I lost my American number, I now have a Spanish number, and I use my own phone for that. Hey CJ, thanks for tuning in. Or if you're super, super fortunate, you can get a double SIM card phone, and that's way better because you don't have to lose your number, and you can call back at the States or wherever you're from, and also have a Spanish number, which works great when you travel internationally if for any reason you need to use another phone. Another thing, I am glad that I brought was my my laptop and these awesome headphones. They're not actually that awesome, but they work, which I love. So here's an example of my laptop, and super glad I brought it because I use it everywhere. Whether in the TEFL program, you will definitely use it to take notes or to work on projects or assignments, do research, whatever it is. And then I even use it in my classes. So I teach in company at businesses, and very often I have to play a TED Talk video or show them a music video or something, and it's great to have available. And then outside of that, my personal life, I use it all the time. Netflix, if I'm binge watching, catching up, or if I want to bring it to me on vacation, it's fantastic. Also, highly recommend bringing a good pair of headphones, like I mentioned, maybe even 2 pairs, because you will use them every day. Everybody uses headphones here. It's just what happens. Whether you're listening to some of your favorite music, or maybe playing an audiobook, or even what I like to do is listen to Spanish and practice some Spanish. So you will definitely use it in between just walking, catching up with friends, or in between classes. You will need the headphones, or if you're talking on the phone like I'm doing right now. So use and bring the headphones. Trust me, you'll thank me later. CJ, what food do you recommend bringing from the U.S.? Anything you miss? Haha. So this is a great question because I just came back from these states, and while I don't recommend bringing food, because to be honest, they really have everything here. Unfortunately, they can't bring me a grand slam Denny's breakfast or a huge breakfast, which is not traditional here. They do have peanut butter. It's like €5. It's kind of expensive, but yeah, don't worry about bringing food as much. But I'll be honest, I did go home and I brought some stuff back, and while it was silly, I am so glad I had it. For example, this is so embarrassing to admit. Anyways, I went and I purchased my favorite cereal. So I got a Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you better believe it, I brought it on my carry-on. While they do have a cool bar here called Cereal Hunters in Malasaña, I believe, you can go and it's open all day and you get a bowl of American cereal. They have it there. I just wanted to have it at my home. So I can be a little spoiled in that sense. I brought back some treats for my students. They don't have Reese peanut butter cups here, so I brought some Reese peanut butter cups. What else? Rice Krispie treats. Again, not a typical thing. You won't see this here, and you won't even see it in the, I'm forgetting the name of the store, if anybody knows it. But they have a store here. It's literally American-made food, and something, Taste of America, there it is, Taste of America. And they actually have products from America that you can get, like your favorite barbecue sauce or cereal or things like that, Pop-Tarts, whatever. But it can be a little expensive. So just get used to it, guys. That's the biggest advice I can give you. It is tough adjusting to new food, new culture, new everything, but absorb it, love it, enjoy it, because it's worth it. It really is. And the last thing I would mention to bring, that I'm glad I brought, was my water bottle. So you will for sure need a water bottle. It's kind of cool. You can drink tap water here, and it's totally fine. And I highly recommend doing it because it's cheap. Obviously, you don't spend anything, and you can refill your bottle anywhere really, which is fantastic. So I carry my water bottle every day. I make sure I'm drinking water throughout the day because, like I said, I'm doing a lot of walking, a lot of in-between talking, things like that, to where I need to stay hydrated. So those would be my recommendations. If you guys have any other questions or anything else, I'd love to hear what you guys brought, what you didn't bring, what you wish you had brought. Or if you have any other questions as to things that you think you should bring but you're not really sure. Like I said, I can give you kind of more the girls' perspective of what to bring, but it's kind of all the same, if anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to also leave a link to an article that was written a little bit earlier from TT about some items to bring and not to bring. So feel free and check that out. One last question here from CJ. What about winter clothes? Yes, yes, yes. Bring some winter clothes. Like I mentioned, it does get cold here in Madrid. It's kind of extreme, so it gets really, really hot during the summer and really, really cold during the winter. So one thing I wish I would have brought in more of was winter clothes. I literally only brought like one long sleeve t-shirt, some pants, and a jacket, and that was it, and my boots. And I wish I would have brought a couple more long sleeves. I wish I would have brought in maybe another sweater. Bring some extra winter clothes. While they can be bulky, maybe pick some of your favorite ones or try to find that lightweight feather kind of jacket. Those are the best because you can roll it and they'll keep you warm. And then if you can make it work, if you can fit it into your suitcase, bring a pair of boots because one, they're comfortable, two, they'll keep your feet warm. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, like TT Madrid if you want to see more of these videos. And again, if you guys have any future ideas for videos or anything you'd like to see, feel free to leave a comment. All right, have a great rest of your day. Bye.